Right, I'm going to show you something very sad. I have a water level indicator here. And we go up to here. Let's have a look what it says. Critical. 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 So basically that means that I have got critical levels of water in my water thing, which is very important for Opal A&E today. So what I'm going to do, I've got a whole heap of new stuff going on at the moment. I have just finished upgrading my Opal station. You'll be glad to know. What I've got, I don't know if I'm going to keep it here, but I've got some shock absorbers that I've taken from an old TV that will hopefully, fingers crossed, get rid of a lot of the noise of the Opal grinder. But first things first, I am going to rack off and turn on the water. Now halfway through this live stream, after I've turned on the water, we'll see water cascading down. Well, I might see it, you might not. And then I have to turn the water off, or else I the entire Opal setup, which is suboptimal, with the emphasis on sub. 5 seconds. Now, if I don't lose track of time and remember that this is actually on, I might be able to avoid a biblical style flood. But I think that, you know, biblical style Armageddon things are kind of part of the course today, don't you think? Because we've just had a computer Armageddon. In case you're interested, Armageddon is actually a corruption of the word Medu, which is a town which is somewhere between Egypt and Israel. So, and quite frankly, a lot of bad things happened to Medigo, so yeah. That's a little bit of trivia. Now, what am I doing today? So, I don't know if anybody else has coined the phrase hospital rub, but I think it's a good phrase from an Australian perspective. I don't know much about American football or gridiron or any of the other footballs, but in the Australian version of football, there is something called a hospital pass. Now, what that is when a person realises he's going to get absolutely slammed by the equivalent of the quarterback, or whatever you call it, by the front row forwards, and they just throw the ball meekly to their friend, who then gets absolutely smashed. That's called a hospital pass. It's a pass that puts your mate in hospital. So what I've done is I've borrowed from that phrase, and I've called these things, especially this guy here, a hospital rub. What it is a vendor has given me an Opal, and there's very little that they can do with it. And they go, oh, I can't think about what to do with it. I'll just pass it off to somebody else. I love hospital rubs. I think that it's really, really fun to get into the rub and to try and figure out a way to make the rub work. Now, before you get all... well, thank you for calling me a maniac. I hope I'm in good company, actually. What time is it over there in the States before you sleep? Anyway, what was I talking about? Yes, hospital rubs. The hospital rubs are basically really fun ones, I reckon. You get in there, you try to salvage a rub, basically. Try and turn it into a good Opal. This is a really good example. I'll show it to you. We'll go zoom right in. Whoop, too close, a little too close. There we go. And I might actually just move this over a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Now, let's have a look at this guy. Give it a bit of water. So you can see there's nice colour in it, but it's just kind of like a lens of colour. There it is. You can see how he's tried to... This guy is a great bloke, by the way, and he's actually quite a skilled cutter in his own right. He just couldn't be bothered. So what's happened here is that there's a nice face here, but you can see that something's gone wrong. And if you've been cutting Opal for a while, you'll realise that there's actually something called a kernel here. And that kernel is this guy sitting right here. This Opal is facing entirely the wrong way. There should be a nice little lens of Opal which will come out on this side. But this guy, he started cutting it on the wrong side, and that happens from time to time. he didn't realize what it was actually going to do, and so he ended up with this monstrosity. And instead of fixing it, he's just going, "Oh, I'll just sell it on." So he sold it on to me, and I'm very glad to take on the project. Here's a few other things. I do believe this one was just given to me from yeah, given to me. I do believe, I could be wrong. 12:22. Gee, it's only 4 o'clock here. I wonder if daylight savings has something to do with that. Doesn't matter. Well, sweet dreams, my friend. I've got to remember that. So I've got to start at 3 if I've got a hope of tapping that American market. I hope you didn't get Opal Armageddon too badly. Anyway, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, this one. I think it was actually supplied to me by the Laboratory Club. I could be wrong. I do apologise if it was the same guy who supplied it to me. But basically, they gave me a whole heap of Opal chips. Basically, they were too small for them to work with. I like doing that kind of thing. Here's an... Didn't you? Well, I work for a government agency, and they all put their trust in the one company. And that worked as well as you expect it to work. So all agencies all around the world put their trust in the one company, and they did a dodgy update. And not only did they do the dodgy update, they had dodgy methodology which bypassed the normal Windows safety measures. So most of my banking systems went down, and of course my work went down. I had a holiday today. Everything's up and running again though. So lots of fun. Armageddon was lots of fun. But if you didn't notice anything, just be aware that this is a dry run, because now people know how to get into the computer. You don't go through the main system, you just find some idiot vendor who's got a critical role to play, and then they're going to have a crack at it. And that will bring the system down, because they'll be deliberately trying to bring the system down. Anyway, this one, yeah, this looks like it's just got, yeah, this was supplied by the vendor. He actually was nice to me. He pulled it out from under his desk and he says, I reckon this one will produce something really spectacular. And I'm inclined to agree with him. So that's not exactly an A&E case. This one here, this one, we talked it through actually. He said there's something in this side here, and I've actually investigated a bit further. It's another kernel. You can see that right in here, there's just that green lens on the outside, and it's just that kernel there. There could be something else within the opal, but I'm going to be working on the assumption that the only piece of opal is the bit that is visible to you now. That is what I think is reasonable. So those guys, the rest of the opal, I think, will investigate it, and I have had a little bit of a sniff around. Stream is potato. Uh-oh. Let me try. Not the Telstra internet. I'm actually going to find out on my own. See if it's any better. YouTube. Got a new phone, by the way. That's very exciting for me anyway. Viewing my channel. Seems to be doing okay. Excellent. Okay, I'm just going to put my hand in front, see what's going on. Look at these horrible, horrible hands. Yeah, it's good. Okay, turning down the volume. Do that again, just to... I'll keep an eye on the thing. As a matter of fact, I need to go and turn off the water before it causes me a grief. Stay with me. Now, one other thing I need to do, I've got a spare blade ready to go. It might be of interest to you to see a blade change in action. If you want to see it, I'm happy to do it. Let's move the A&E over to the side and I'll show you this bad boy. So this is a diamond tipped blade. It's razor thin. This one's much thinner than this blade. So I'm anxious to give it a bit of a crack. Anxious to give it a bit of a whirl. It might smash the moment I use it. I've got a spare one sitting around, but I haven't prepared, so that'll be fun if that actually happens. Found the spare. right in here. Or I could put the old blade back on. But basically, in order to get these things out, I've got a screen up and everything, so it's actually quite difficult to get to it. But you just basically get in there and righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Keep forgetting it because you can't exactly remember when you've got your... There we go. Got it. Right. So that's the blade there. And I need a screwdriver. I'll just use this. Hopefully it's good enough. There we go. Oh man, it's stuck good. Give me a second. Might have to vise it. Give me 1 second. What I might do is I might put it back in, because if I need to change it, I'll need to change it. But it's going to take a little bit of a... It's going to take a little bit of an operation to actually get the blade off at the moment. So I'd much rather get on with the whole OPAL show. And I'll make do with a blunt blade. That's fine by me. So put the OPAL A&E. It's also Dremel A&E as well. So I'll just grab the thing, because if I don't tighten it up again, what it'll do is it'll come out. And that will be very good for live stream, watching, you know, blood and gore. This new YouTube environment. All right. Okay, welcome to OPAL A&E. I'm doing something called hospital rubs. These things are repairing OPALs that other people have had a crack at and failed, and I'm going to do this one first. So you'll get the general idea as things go on. Let's turn on the water as well. I said let's turn on the water as well. How's the water going? It's not. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Basically, struggling with the water. Here we go. So how's the sound? I can see that it's decided that it doesn't want to show you. There we go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a quick look at this bit. And I apologise, the blade is very, very blunt. How's that water going? That's it, drip more. Drip faster. When it starts, it really starts. When it stops, it really stops. It's exactly what I want for my live stream, for the water to stop working. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit so that it gets a general idea. No, never mind. Up you get. Well, if you're not going to give me the water, I will proceed without you. I think it's basically the... Yeah, anyway. just shifting it to make it easier for me. There we go. One second. Much better. Now you don't want to know what I had to do to get that to happen. But at any rate, here we go. So what I'm doing at the moment is just cutting through the kernel, and hopefully there's something on the other side. If not, this is a wasted effort. Not exactly wasted effort, just mostly wasted effort. in case you're someone who understands what I'm doing to the equipment, it's because it's so blunt, I'm tempted to press a bit harder. I don't want to press harder, I just end up doing it. I do apologise for those people who really like equipment. I'll try not to do it, but very tempting. Especially with opals, sometimes it's easier to try and break it when it gets to a certain point. It hasn't gotten to that point yet. Tell you what though, I didn't realise the blade was this blunt. Had I done it, I thought, you know, maybe a nice demonstration of changing the blade. That's what I thought. Too many moving parts, I'm afraid, as they say in management. Okay, what I did was I just broke it. That's one side. This is the other side, and we are correct. There is actually some nice opal underneath. So, there we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, it's a weird kind of one here because it seems that this side is actually the one that's going to come good. It's an issue that sometimes is referred to as facing. Now the problem that I have is, in order to face this correctly, I want to cut into this section of the opal, which has got, quite frankly, the best colour. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carve this guy and face it out a bit further. And hopefully, if I just carve this in a bit, by the way, this was the trickiest of the opals, that's why I picked it. Right, so what we've got here, just so you know, I'm not sure what you can see, but we've got an opal here which requires a very delicate cut, and I'm not going to cut it with this particular blade because the blade is just way too, blunt to do anything with precision. So what I might do is I'll shut this down and I will grab a screwdriver and I will open up the blade. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, was unbelievable. I was trying to find a simple screwdriver. Could I find one? No, I could not. So, I went around and, you know, I thought I'd get a pair of pliers because you never know when they come in handy, so I've got the pliers. Yay. But then I couldn't find anything else except a jeweler's flathead. I needed a Phillips. There was a massive Phillips, which was fine. But then I found this hammer, and I was thinking, you know what? Yeah, I might want to do that. Hello there, Jackson. How you doing? Woo-hoo. Different Jackson? No. Right, so what I'll do is I'll just quickly grab the spanner and I will open up the thing. Yes. Here we go. Yoink. And you will see how to change a thing on the fly. Yoink. There we go. Come on. Out you get. You never remember. There we go. Try and not be dyslexic when you're on a live stream. Okay, so this is the little blade. You can see that there's been a few issues with it. And what I can do now that I have the pair of pliers is I can just sit there and quickly get it undone. Or not. Perhaps I'll use this one. Well, that's a deuce of a joke. Spent all that time hunting for the Phillips head. It didn't work. Is that working? Come on, get working. Yeah, tough little bugger today. I'm going to just quickly give it a bit of a squeeze with this. Man, it's tough. Dual screwdriver. Ah, come on, you can do this. I thought it'd be so easy. Just so cruisy, just go and get your blade, get it all sorted out. But what I might be able to do is just grab a spare shaft and just do it that way. Yeah, if you'll excuse me for 5 seconds. So I've got these are all too small. So I will open them up and get myself a little shaft out of that. There we go. In my mind, this was a much more interesting, fascinating live stream. But sometimes life just throws you lemons and you've got to make more lemons. Okay. Are you bloody kidding me? The hole's too small. Great, where's that? Here we go. If there's not one problem, it's another. Never have I had so much trouble just getting a blade installed. It's usually a 5-second job, and this time around, if I have to do it on a live stream, not even the thing is going through it properly. It's so fun. Do YouTube, they said. It's easy, they said. Yeah, whatever. Okay, I've made the hole now. Right. Now, I hope this has been worth the effort, because you guys have seen nothing for what, 5 minutes? Come on, get in. It's a task of extreme precision here. Now, I didn't expect to have to machine out the blade whilst I was on live stream. Had I known, I would have gotten, you know, that Simpsons technical difficulties thing to go on. But no, we're going to press on because I'm a sucker for punishment. Right, we're going to keep going. Dead air, dead air. That's what we're here for. Not just Opal A&E, it's Phil A&E. Dr. Phil here, welcome to him cracking it up. One more drill out. When you think the fix will be quick is when it does this, becomes an epic. What I've discovered after all of this is that the hole was too small, so I've got to drill quickly to drill it out, which I had on hand, but the blade, the drill bit was too small to meaningfully affect the blade. So is that going to work, little blade? I hope it is. Come on, you can do it. Oh, it's nearly in. Oh, it needs one more, I think. And I bet you it'll... Probably not going to be as even a cut now. But that's alright, I suppose, you know. Bit of adventure. Probably better than 5 minutes of dead air. Come on, get in. No. Come on, you can do this. Nah. No, come on. What I thought was that these blades were actually tailored for this particular screw and machine, and it clearly is not the case. I accidentally got different brands, so it's partially my fault, but I seriously didn't know this was going to happen, and I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But guess what? I've managed to get it on, so let's just finish screwing this blade on, and then we can pretend it never happened. The other thing is I've done a considerable amount of forcing of the blade, and so it'll be a deuce of a joke if this blade ends up being a little bit stuffed, having already put in so much effort onto putting it on. But, I mean, that's the way things go sometimes, especially with these kinds of live streams of mine. Sometimes I plan really, really well, something goes wrong, and then it just cascades out of control. I'm well used to it, and I'm hoping you guys are well used to it, because it won't be that fun live streaming if you're not. Alright, here we go. Blade on. I'll just make sure it's nice and tight on there, because the last thing we want is a blade to go flying. Checking that. Yep, everything's good. Okay, finally, in it goes. That only took 5 to 6 working days, didn't it? That's a phrase I could learn from the deep south. Some guy was a mechanic. If you're going to tell me my deep south accent is terrible, I believe you. There we go. It's all back up and running again. Yay! It seems to me the blade is just a little bit bigger than previous one. So that's good. Right. So, on we go again. No more dramas, please. What's the bet this blade's just going to smash the moment I put it onto something? Just checking what I need to do, because this is actually quite a delicate cut. So, just looking. Just cut it there. Right in there. So we'll just get that cut done. Right, that cut's done. Then we need to cut it here. This will be a tougher cut, because I need to be able to see what I'm doing. Right, got that done. Then what do I need to do? I need to cut in there. What do I need to cut all the way to the end there. Right. All the way to the end. Right. What else needs doing? Okay, finally just cut through at an angle here. Simples, huh? Also cut here. Naughty. Oh yeah. Oh, nearly. Oh, that was so close to disaster. Got it. All right. So I might have to double them up, but there's the first bit. I managed to successfully cut it free. And here's the second bit. And that one's not as clean a cut, but it will work. Now let me have a look and see what I can do here. Yep, I can carve this piece off now. Like so. And you'll notice that it's much quicker and easier now that I've got a good blade. It's off. Okay, I'm just gonna trim it now. I'm not gonna bother cutting anymore OPAL, because that was high stress, high intensity, high drama. It didn't even have the high drama music, which is, you know, you're going to do stuff like that, you need the high drama music. Carve this bit off. Yeah, I'll just do that. There we go. Dr. Phil cuts an OPAL. Phil cuts an OPAL. As you can see, I haven't done my actually I did when I was first starting. I should put that on there. I would just do that da 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 and just say it's Dr. Phil. Okay, so there we go. Finally, after all that effort, I managed to get that OPAL cut. So, hospital for OPALs, A&E, successful. Let's have a look quickly at the piece that I cut off. See if there's anything that... Oh, yes, there's plenty I can do with this piece. So, not only do we have a successful A&E job, but we've also got... This hospital rub is quite a good one. So this would be a nice little... That'll work as a stone in its own right too. Good. It's not really bright, but you know, it's not horrible. So there we go. I'll dot this up and I'll show you how good that'll come up. It's very hard to see it. Anywho, whoa, that was a toughie. Okay, so got my little jar of successful rubs here. Dink. Change, you got some change. Alright, pop the OPAL A&E up here so that, you know, people who are wondering what the hell's going on will still be wondering what the hell's going on. At least they'll have something to read. Okay. This one next. As you can see, this is another kernel. Not like KFC, the Colonel's secret recipe. Kernel, as in like a kernel of corn. I'm just changing my chair because I want to sit up for this one. OHS and all that. There we go. Much better. What that means is that there's no longer water dribbling up my sleeve. I'm at a better angle. So at any rate, in case I haven't mentioned it, Jackson, yes, I do remember you. I remember you subscribed, and it was very kind of you to do so. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just cut along. This piece of opal here is just tiny piece of opal, which will end up being a nice little stone. So I'm just going to carve it down like so. Would you believe the chair's too high? Now, I don't know what field this opal comes from, but I do know the opal well. One of the first opals I ever cut came from this field. So, it's a very, very temperamental opal. It will just as soon stop being a good opal as start being a good opal. So, I am going to very carefully and respectfully carve into this part. What I am looking for is more of the kernel, not the KFC kernel, not the kernel that caused so much trouble with the Armageddon. And I sincerely hope everybody here had a great day and didn't get too badly inconvenienced by all of the computers in the world shutting down. Tell you what, this is interesting. If you have a look at just in the middle there's just that light patch. I don't know what that light patch will do. It probably won't resolve into precious opal, so we just be careful with it. Probably the way I'm holding it doesn't necessarily make it great viewing either. I'm trying to just see if I can maximise the colour a bit. That I think I'm better off maximising the black. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So basically I'm just going to go the opposite here. So basically the opposite side here is this, and just going to slowly drag it in. I might even just cut it straight through. Yeah. Yeah, that was no risk. Cutting through it like butter now, which is good. In a way it's good, but it's easy to make mistakes. So for those of you who are Australians, this was a gem show in Macquarie Fields of all places. Met up with some great people. I had a great and fun time, and I'm extraordinarily thankful for all of the advice that was given to me, because I am by trade a soil scientist, not a geologist. There was a guy who was a geologist there, and people who are university trained sometimes understand what a PhD actually means, and so they get intimidated. This guy was perfectly knowledgeable, even though he'd just done an undergrad, but he seemed a little bit intimidated by my PhD. It's like, your knowledge is great. I don't think you have any worries about who you are and what your knowledge is like. Great guy. So I kept asking him for all sorts of tips and stuff. And it wasn't just me being kind. He was definitely a sort of person that you should ask for tips. There we go. Have a look at that. Nice little kernel that's been excised. What I'll do is I'll dot that up, and There'll be a nice little green and blue thing. So popping that into the little tinky tink jar. Rinky tinky 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 tink. It's rapidly getting cold. So let's have a look at this piece here. What I'll do is I'll very quickly just carve all the stuff off this one. This one doesn't look even particularly difficult. Famous last words, I know. Seeing this blade is clearly a blade that I'm not used to using, I wonder how long it'll last for. This may not be a particularly long-lived blade. Or maybe what I need to do is I need to set up two types of Dremel. One which is for the thin cuts and one which is for the other things. I've got plenty of other blades sitting around, so I don't have to worry too much about conserving blades. Nor do I have to worry about, you know, which blade to use, really. And I've got a couple of Dremel tools, so, I mean... Now this is interesting, just so that you can see. As a matter of fact, because we've got light behind us, you can literally see what's going on. That is potch on the top, which is basically non-precious opal. But in the middle here, there's some sand. That sand is of concern. If we hold it up to the light, you can see it there. But if you hold it that way, you can see the sand isn't particularly deep. But the precious opal is right on the face here, and it's at a very, very inconvenient location. So what I might just do is cut it straight along there, make it into a square. Square and a triangle. Because I'm willing to bet that I'll waste less opal cutting a corner off than I would trying to make the face work. Now, once again, looking at this piece of opal, you can see that there's more sand there, there's more cracking and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. This piece is going to get cut off. I'm going to turn the water down a bit because it's just saturating me. Come on, you can do it. The good news is, if the water is saturating me, that means that it's not, that the opal dust is not killing me. Goldilocks opal. It's always, you know, a little too much, a little not enough, then just right. But getting just right, not as easy as it sounds. And you can spend all the time you like in the setup phase trying to get this perfect, and it just won't. It's just one of those things. That looks like a little bit reasonable. Okay, so where was I? So you can see here. Okay, what I'm going to tell you is this piece here is pretty much rubbish, so I'll cut that entirely off. I'll grind it away. But any further issues, I'm going to literally cut a slither off rather than... Yeah, that's going to be cut off. So just going to cut from here. Now the logic is, it's very rare to get that amazing stone that's 1,000,000 carats. There's always something wrong. And when you've got a piece of opal like this, just so that you know, it's wood opal. And so wood opal is notorious for having all sorts of issues with it. It's beautiful, but it's got plenty of issues. There we go. Now what I've just done is I've just gotten rid of all of the bad opal. Now the next dilemma is what to cut it into. So I'm going to have a look at it in a second, once I've gotten all of the bad off. So yeah, that's good enough. Oh, look at that. Okay. So we've got some nice colour on this side. Got some nice colour on this side. I don't know what you're seeing, but basically if I angle it like this, beautiful. Let's go over to here. Alright, so we're not going to have any troubles whatsoever. Let's see where the potch was. It's actually more of a problem because no matter which way, it's not going to go wrong. I think, basically, yeah, I'm going to flatten this bit down. Just a bit. Flatten this bit down a bit more. So I'm going to adapt as we go because there's a good chance that something might happen that's spectacular whilst I'm doing this, and I'm going to take advantage of it if it does. So this is it's a middle of the road stone. It's nothing amazing, but you know, it's well worth doing. If I play my cards right, you know, $100 or $200. Probably closer to a $50 stone, but you know, if I recover from silver from some electronic parts in my garage, chuck it in a ring. Just looking. Okay, so now what we've got is it's faceted now, which is kind of cool, but I'm just going to take off the corners. There it is. There's the colour. So that's where we're going. Bit inconvenient, but that's all right. Where's the colour? There it is. Okay. So carve that back a bit. There we are. Okay. So that's definitely our base now. Just making our base, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten it out so that I can carve it properly, because it's getting a bit too small, and you can do it. There's no harm in doing it with your hands, but if you've got the equipment to put it onto a dop stick, then by all means do that. Saves you a lot of grief in the long run. Got a few opals on dops. I might even demonstrate why you do such a thing. Yeah, so that's going onto a dop stick. Nice and ovalish. And I'm not here to turn it into anything amazing just yet. That is for later. Here is an offcut, by the way. And I will be turning that. I'll just dop that straight up because that's beautiful. So, let's have a look at this guy. Oh no, not this guy. Where is he? Where's the one? This one? No. This one? No. What I might do is I might have a quick look through this one, see if we've got anything behind it. I don't think so, but you never know. I think we've seen all the joy we were going to see out of that opal. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll carve it to the black, and then that's good doubleting material. What you do with the doublet is I'll demonstrate with this. Basically, you put the two pieces of opal together. It's not a really good demonstration actually. But the black helps to bring out the opal. Now, I'll give you by way of explanation, occasionally the screen refreshes on my phone and it flicks and it makes it look like someone's actually said something, and so I quickly stop what I'm doing just to read. There's nothing there, but I check anyway, and so that's why I suddenly stop sometimes, and it's hard to get my mind back into the game of what I was actually saying. So there's a minor derailment thanks to a screen refresh issue. So fortunately it's not the Armageddon that we saw on Friday. It would have been Thursday if you're in the United States, but also if you're in the United States it'll be like 3 in the morning. So horses for courses. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much. I'm just going to go to the other side, see what's there. Right. Well, as one of my friends used to say, there it isn't. Okay. Got any blacker? Another hospital rub right here. Just see what's under here. There's got to be... Just trying to find that one. The one which has got the nice colour underneath it. I must have put it down. It's not that one. Nor is it that one. Nor is it that one. It's not that one, nor that one. That's weird. Where did it go? Don't think it's that one. It's really obvious. Previous left. So I'll pop these back over here. See if I can find the... And it must have fallen off. Sometimes does that. And there's been an awful lot of things going on recently. Huh. Well, if that isn't the most annoying thing, it'll be partially the most annoying thing that's ever happened. Oh well. On with the show, as they say. What I'll do is I'll find something particularly delightful. Got that one? Found it. For whatever reason, I'd stuck it in a little nook and cranny. Unlike that, what I'll do is I'll say, oh, I'll put this away here so that I won't lose it. Yeah, famous last words. So this guy here, I'm not going to say it's got great things happening, but it's got potential. I'll give it that. What I can also see is that there's a lot of variable backing. So if I have a look at the back of this guy, you can see, yeah, I might have to cut that off so that we don't have a two-tone opal. So if we just go to the back here, you can see how there's black all around, but it casts a shadow. So what I'll do is I will cut off wherever the shadow is and work with the shadow, basically. So this one will make a nice crystal opal for doubleting, but you're better off just cutting it. Right. So this is the bit I'm not working with. There's a little bit of black underneath it, so let's have a look at it to the light. Can barely see it, but that'll work. So if I just went yo 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 yo, nice little drop there. See that? Nice drop. I'll cut the other side just to see what it looks like. But I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because I don't think this one's the main event. May as well shape it up a bit whilst if you can. I'm not a big advocate of shaping it up by freehand, but I can if I want to. The reason is that your moves are too grotesque, basically. You're better off just taking it easy, putting time into dop it. Yeah, so that's the best I'm going to do. It's not too bad. Pop that in there. Now, where is the rest of it? Let's see what we can do with this. So here's the remaining stone. We'll look at it up into the light again. Now, even though there is an argument to say that I should cut through and make 2 stones out of this, and I'm not necessarily saying I won't, because there's a nice, if you have a look at it, there's a fracture through it. So, just thinking, yeah, I'll do that. I'll cut through it again. I am a strong believer in cutting, because I reckon that when you cut, you end up with a stone bigger than if you don't cut. And you also end up with 2 of them. Both of them are usually bigger than the stone that you don't cut. Because you're spending all of that time just trying to make something right, which should just have never been made right in the first place. Now, there is something spectacular going on in the background of this opal. And I don't know necessarily which. I might go from the back. Let's see. Let's have a look at you. Yeah, interesting. Nice little opal. It's got a surprise finish, because it's actually the back of the opal that is where the fun is. Now, if I hadn't decided to cut it, I would never have seen that. And that's a kernel too. So all of the opals so far that have been troublesome have been because of kernels. Any military people have trouble with their kernels? I know computer people have trouble with their kernels. That's what happened with that CrowdStrike. Man, my computer was safe today. I couldn't use it. I'm glad of that software that protects me from the vulnerabilities of me. At least if your friends are not too forthcoming on what their job is, you'll be able to figure out from this crisis. You go, oh, were you affected by CrowdStrike? If they say yes, you go, well, you're either in banking or the public service. So that's a good one. Nice little triangle cut there. Let's have a look what we've got left here. It's getting colder and colder. Just doing the back first. That certainly gave me dividends last time. I think the front is the way to go though. Yeah, this is the face. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful face. Ha ha ha. Devilish laugh. I might just carve it straight across here. And once again, across here. Not as wasteful as you think, because I am certainly going to utilise those pieces that flung off into the nether regions of my opal station. And this one is a side catch anyway, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to maximise the beauty rather than worrying about the size too much. I'll give you a few little tips about this one. This one's got epic amounts of depth, which I am not going to hack into, because I'll worry about that when I've got it on the dropstick. It's also a little bit looking like a yin-yang stone, really. What I think I'll do with this particular one is I will leave it like that and put on the dop, and any straightening out will be handled on the dropstick. Okay, what else have we got here? Oh yeah, that one there. That one's finished. Okay. Whew, I'm getting cold. What I'll do is I'll try and find a nice... Oh, okay, so this is... I'll put this back down on the ground because this gives you an idea of what the backing does. Where is it? It's here. There. Have a look at that. See that colour just down there? That's what the black backdrop does. That's why you make doublets. Because if I pick this up, well, you still see some of the colour, but it's not as good. Put it back down again. All of a sudden you got that nice blue coming through. So what I do in order to maximise that is I get one of these guys and I essentially stick it on top of that one, and then you get stick it on like that, and then you get the best of both worlds. So you get a nice stable backing and you get a nice colour. That's the principle of doubleting right there. Let's have a look at this. Ooh, okay, this one looks interesting. Let's just get the sand off the back of it, because I saw a tiny little hint of what's to come. This one is from the Lavatory Club. Little opal chip, too small to work with basically. Now what I'm going to do is, as per usual, I'm going to cut it off the bits which I don't think I can use immediately. This is a bigger risk than I ordinarily would take, because I had a little bit of a peek into the side of the opal here. I saw something that I really liked. There, look at that. And so, oh sorry, I had a little peek into the side of the opal, and there's a little bit of sand there. I'm going to try and get rid of that sand. As a matter of fact, it's going angles there. Going angles. Don't like that. Not in the slightest don't like that. Let's just bring it in. This sand is it's cancer to the opal, so I'm not bothering too much about getting rid of it. So let's just quickly get into there, see if I can get that sand done. I think it's nearly done. I'm just going to slice into the sand, see if I can, yeah, okay, good. Still there. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just pretend that everything's okay. I'm just going to cut up into there like so. Has that fixed it up? Nearly. Oh, that was a good slice. Okay, anyway. So what I was doing there was just clearing up some issues, but you can see, just in clearing up those issues, you might see that there's actually a little bit of extra fun in this opal. And this one was too small for them to really do anything with. But I'm still left with 1.5 carats at the moment, I reckon. Now, it's not going to stay that way, but it's a 1.5 carat stone still. Let me just continue with this and I'll show you. Watch as an absolute cracker emerges. Don't lie to me. Good, the stone is there. For a moment I was worried that the stone was going to lie. I'm not a cracker at all. You know you are, you're good. Yeah, I don't want to tell them. I'm stage frighty. I'm shy. I'm just a retiring little stone. I was buried for 100 million years. I know, but it's your time to shine now, my friend. It's your time to shine. Okay, I'll do it. Just for you. Isn't he nice? He's a bit of a gem, this guy. Da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Ah. As a result, somebody tunes out. Good response. Alright, so what are we going to do with this? I'm just having a quick look with my unfettered eye. I think that what I have to do is I have to face it a bit more this way. So let's try just faceting it up a bit. What does it look like now? There it is. Beautiful. Right. It's a bit of a tough cut, this one. What's it looking like on the camera? Not looking that spectacular. I can only just tell you it's a nice little stone, but like, you only have my word for it. Oh well. Glittering away at me and giving absolutely nothing to everybody else. So what I'll do is I'll round it off, because I think it is even better in the daytime, and I want to do a daytime cut of this one. Yeah, and I'm taking the time to actually make it into a proper cut. It's a bit thick on one end, so that's all right. What I'll do is I'll tidy that up when I put it onto the dot stick. Right, I am getting mortal cold, so what we're going to do, when I finish these things up, usually there is a period of time when I go in and we chat with the birds before I shut everything down. So you'll enjoy that. But what I've noticed here, if you see over here, actually I'll use a pointing stick. Okay, so you can see here there's a bit of black right at the bottom here, and there's a bit of colour sitting there. So what that tells me is that if I am a bit cheeky and cut across there, there might be something nice just sitting against the black. And this, I haven't lost anything, because I'll cut along one of those seams and there'll be this blue purpley opal, which it'll do something. So I reckon that the best maximisation of this stone is just to cut along the potch. So here goes, let's see what happens. I'm just wondering what the most safe option is. I'm just having a look on the other side. There is a bit of sand in amongst the potch, so this is a bit risky. Okay, so I haven't even looked. So has it succeeded or has it failed, do you reckon? It's just sitting here behind my thumb. Let's have a look. Not bad. Quite good, actually. Let's just carve this bit away. I reckon we can do better. Let's have a look now. Yeah, nice. Okay. So what I've got here, I think this chunk of sand's not going to do anything, so that's going. I think you get the general gist of what I do nowadays. Off that goes. Now I'm holding it too precariously. The two pieces are going to fly away. Whoop. I was okay with that because I wanted to cut with precision, not caring too much about where the pieces went. Right, now I'm just going to carve this one in. I'm going to bring these pieces in. Hopefully that will deal with the sand that's there. Yeah. I've got to be a bit cautious. Whoop. I took a divot out. That should not happen. It's because the potch is curving in a bit. And there's also a chunk of sand there. I'm just going to get rid of that. Now this is an interesting conundrum. So what I've got here is, you see that how the potch is actually, the black potch is rising a bit. So I don't want to have this situation where you've got dropping potch and rising potch. I'm going to just cut. You can always sell a small stone. Right. As a matter of fact, small stones are easier to sell. Because if you cut this great, you know, $10,000 stone, yep, it's worth $10,000. But who's got 10,000 bucks on them? So it takes a while to sell them. If you cut dozens of $50 stones, you might be making less money per carat, but ultimately you're doing better because you're actually getting that money. You can't sell a $10,000 stone for 50 bucks. It'll, not only is it a bad thing for you to do, it's a bad thing for the entire market. You can't do it. So there you go, there's a nice stone there. That's one of them. And the cool thing about this is, because we've been judicious and cut at the correct spots, we've got plenty of other stones to do things with. This one's an absolute cracker. I'm just going to carve the potch away a bit. I don't want to carve much of the potch because the potch is doing nice things to the other side. You'll see. You see that, can't you? See that beautiful colour? But I'm bringing my other hand into play now. It was holding on to other pieces of opal, but this one is good enough to bring all of the guns to bear, so to speak. Cut that piece off like that. Now that is a good blade. After all the trouble I had with it, it is just so precise. I'm cutting with way more confidence now. That's good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to, I wouldn't necessarily try doing this with another blade, but I think I can with this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve this potch back a bit. See if I can do this right. This one is only a $50 stone, so it's an experiment that if it goes wrong, well, you've lost 50 bucks. I've got so many rubs sitting around, it should be fine. Right, so I've got that carved back a bit. So here's the experimental cut. What am I going to do? I'm going to carve along this line, like so. Look at that. Oh, this is precision plus. That's an amazing blade. Oh, dropped it. Let's see if I can find it. Well, we're going to have to find out about that one in the morning, because I think I can't spot it. No, it's not that one. My good friends the birds are going down here again. Messed up all my orchid and still on the floor. Yeah, I can't see it. That's a bit of a nuisance. That was quite a good stone. But don't worry, it will surface. It's just annoying because the precision I was able to cut with was amazing. The amount of precision I had there, I was just gobsmacked by what I was able to do. I wanted to show you. But that's all right. What we've discovered from this experiment, however, is that we can cut along these opal lines. So cutting along these lines yields dividends. So we're just going to see where these lines are. I'm going to cut along them. Actually, look at this. This is the other side of the cut. So it faces up this side. Beautiful. I'm going to do that. Nice little triangle. And let this be a lesson to everybody, because we need to know where the opal is facing, not what the colour bar is doing. It's always the way the opal is facing that you've got to concern yourself with. That's the only concern. Yeah, this will turn out quite well. I'm just bringing the face in a bit. Yeah, look at that. Especially if I angle it like so. Yeah. You're going to do a stellar job. Look at you. That's a nice stone to just throw into the jar. And the cool thing is, let's have a look on this side. Yeah, I can do that again. Look at this, I can just keep going. So yeah, I've got like 3 or 4 stones in this one. There we go. Another one. There's that nice little piece of colour. Just face it off a bit. Face it up. Or face up this side. This is a double-sided stone. It's just getting better. Has Shape for Genius arrived? I bet she has. There we go. I'm doing just bringing the ends in, so you're not even going to know where the opal begins and the corners begin and end. It's just a nice little piece of swirly colour. Look at that, beautiful little stone. What's left? Let's have a look at it. All I know is I need to cut it, but any which way I cut it is going to be a good way. I'm going to try just facing it up this way, see what it looks like. It might fail. What does it look like that? Just, there's no harm carving that in, surely. Yeah, it's not as good. I'm just going to cut this way. Double-handed for a change, you know, precision and all that. There we go. So, what have we got here? Yeah, an equivalent stone. Took like 5 seconds to make it too. Gosh. Let's just assume $50 a stone, huh? 3 of them, and it took me like 10 minutes. That's not a bad hourly rate. see what... Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting freezing cold out here, so I'm not going to last much longer. Just having a quick look at these stones. I might, I'll quickly do this one. It's nearly cockatoo time, I think. From one set of beauties to another. Look at that. Beautiful. Brilliant. Another $50 stone. That one goes in there too. That was already done, so I can't count that in the stats, so to speak. That goes away. Right, let's have a look at this one. Interesting bit of jelly. So you can see that there's actually it's really quite thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along that discoloured bar and see what it does. This will probably be my last stone. Before you ask, I am deliberately cutting along a curve. Not well, but I am deliberately doing it. So let's just carve along here. This is just a little offcut that I'm going to practice with. See what the opal actually does as I try to face it. Carve off that cracked bit. See, as I carve, I can see where the facing happens. At the moment, I'm not impressed with any of the facing, but we'll see. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, it's alright. It's just because the backing's white. This is a lightning ridge opal from the looks of things. I could be wrong. But sometimes they have this white potch back, which is not Cooper Pedy white, it's lightning ridge white. If you're going to get a white opal, I mean, there's probably people who have other opinions on this, but in my opinion, go to Cooper Pedy to get white opals. Don't go to Lightning Ridge to get them. Having said that, look at that. Okay. Struck it lucky with that one. This is not a $50 stone. This is a more than $50 stone. I'll just leave it at that because we don't want to be too greedy. This one might yield a few breadsticks, I reckon. There is a crack there though. That's a shame. Oh well. Can't have everything. That crack might mean that it's not a particularly amazing stone. I might have to turn it into two $50 stones. But that's better than nothing. Can't complain. Can I? I suppose I can. Stupid weather, it's freezing cold. Why am I out here? Blah, blah, blah. I can complain. So good, excellent. But I mean, I have no right to complain is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I can complain. I'm not very good at complaining. You know, go to the shop that has caused me the grief and I say, I think that your service has been suboptimal. On the rare occasions, whoever's listening and understands what the word suboptimal means, or the words, they just look at me stupidly and go, yeah, deal with it. I wonder if the CrowdStrike people are dealing with a few complaints at the moment. I'm cutting along that crack. Instead of complaining, I'm cutting along the crack. That was a bit violent. So what happened was that it ended up cutting along the lines that it wanted to go along its own crack line, and then it kicked away. So that was a good call in the end. So we cut it into three. This piece here is what I will finish up on. Just quickly face it up and then go inside. Here we go. Oh man, I look like a Depends ad at the moment because like all the water's just gone onto my lap. All I can say is that these opals are so exciting, I pissed myself. I think there's still a crack here, but I'm not going to worry about it. If I can't get it out, it's just a write-off. Having a quick look, see if I can spot it. Yeah, it's just up the top there. I think I can just ease it out. Just there. So good with this new blade. It does whatever I ask of it. There you go. The amount of precision required to do that is insane, and it's just so easy. Oh my goodness. So fun. Just so you know, I'm not bragging about my precision and my abilities. I'm just saying this blade is just so good. You don't have to find out where to get more of these blades because I bought them at that gem show. Alright, so there we go. So I got out the crack. You can't see it under the huge amount of light, but there's quite a nice piece of opal sitting under there. Tink. Turn off. Yeah, yoiky, yoiky, yoik. Ugh. Hello, Loki. Going to zoom back. All right. Oh, it's a lot warmer here. Flipping it round. I know you probably want to see cockatoos more than you see me, but I'm really quite tired. You should see. Oh, showing my hands. Like, don't touch the thing. There you go. Got dishpan hands, and you can see all the opal dust on my jumper, and you can see the water, all sorts of other things. Yeah, all right. Come on, Loki. Do you want to do it, or do you want me to do it? She still hasn't, like, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get her to just open the lock. There it goes. Do you want to take it off? And you can do it. Good girl. Don't put it back on. Ah, that's frustrating. So, should we let her do it, or should I just... Fine. You did well enough. Now what are you going to do? Well, show us. Max, do you want to come out? I'll let Max out, okay? You'll probably want to stay in, won't you? Yeah. Now scratchy poo. Scratchy poo. There you go. With my cold, wet, damp hand. There we go. Right. Maxie Bubba. How you doing? Now, Max has been a little bit aggro recently. That's all right. Would you like a scratch? Loki gets obscenely jealous whilst I'm doing this. You'll see that she's now going, I'm going to open this cage. She's got a special technique. There it is. Cage open, and out she gets. Hello, Loki. Welcome to the outside. Yeah, now, update on Max. I'm just doing his pin feathers here. You can see these little chunks of stuff that are actually sitting in the feathers. I'll see if you can see them. first got to feel them. It's hard to explain. Where is it? It's just in there, but you can't see it. So basically, you feel around, and you've got to make sure that the feather's not pink, because if the feather's pink, there's a blood supply still there, and that will hurt the bird. And I hurt Max not the other day, and he got really cranky with me. He had every right to be cranky. Imagine if, like, you accidentally reef out someone's fingernail or something. That would hurt. There we go. Tell you what, I'm feeling a lot warmer now. All right. What's wrong, Loki? Sorry, Max. All right. You want to get out? Should I do the tappy tap thing, or are you just going to get out yourself? Get out. Do I have to get the stick? Fine, I'll get the stick. Max is funny from the perspective of you've got to do things the right way. If you don't do things the right way, he doesn't like it. So even though he loves his freedom, he loves going out of the cage, he's not going to get out unless you give him all the equipment to do it. It's just as well too, because he's quite obedient. If you say go back into the cage, he likes the order of the command, and so he'll just go, yep, sure, I'll go back in. Most of the time anyway. All right, Max. Come on. Good bird. Good bird. Good bird. There you go. Yeah, I'm coming, Loki. I want you to go for a fly, Maxi Baba. Do you want to go for a fly with me? I've got some experiments running in the tables, so they're a bit messy, but yeah, it's not too bad. So I'll go for a walk down there. It's just this area is nice and clean. There's a little bit of rubbish on the floor here, but mostly okay. And I've got a new system for cleaning the cages. So their poo ends up on the bars a bit, but as a general rule, I can keep the cages much cleaner. And that's good because these guys, especially Loki, needs to have some feather maintenance done. Loki's feathers are not good. Max's feathers are fine. There we go. Ooh, is that okay, Loki? Sorry, I've got a pin feather, and if it's the wrong kind... There we go. No, we've got issues. Max is just sitting there. What I can do is I can take Loki with me. And we'll go down to the other seat. I've moved the perch a bit, and Max is a bit unsure about the location of the perch now. Come on, Loki. Come on. Step up. Good bird. All right. Loki, do you want to go for a fly? Off you go. Whoa. Good bird. Yeah, I know. Do you want to come in? So what we expect now, Loki is essentially, how do I put this, bait. So Max will come and fly up in a little while. There we go. Loki's come up onto me. Now Max, do you want to come up onto there? Come up onto here. He wants to go onto the chair down here, but I want him to learn to get onto this one. Loki managed it. Come on, Max, you can do it. Onto you. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. This is now a battle of wills. Am I going to cave and move the chair? He's even mooning me. Are you mooning me, Max? I sneeze at you. 5% battery remaining, so I think we're going to have to end this, okay? Sorry about that. Everybody, I'm just flipping the camera around. Actually, what I'll do is I'll flip like this, and I've got a charger here, so I'm just moving this down. There we go. Good bird, Max. Oh, that was a good moment for you to do that. Ooh, don't do that. All right. I've put it onto the charger, but I don't know how much it's going to charge. So I think I've got to end the stream now. So I'll just flip it over to me. Everybody, have a lovely evening. Dr. Phil out.